Welcome back to the Femcast, where I do reaction videos over here on the Real Fem Sapien YouTube channel. And today we have off-brand Dylan, because that's what we're going to call him, off-brand Dylan Mulvaney, coming out and purchasing tampons and lecturing women on how tampons work, even though I just don't think that we need men to teach women how tampons work. But I digress. He doesn't even identify as a woman and thinks that this is not at all insulting. This is also the same shtick that Dylan Mulvaney uses, so that is why Grant has been dubbed the off-brand Dylan by many. So if you like this content, make sure you give a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell. If you're unfamiliar with Dylan Mulvaney, I've talked about him a couple of times on the platform before. Dylan Mulvaney is a trans man who identifies as a woman these days, who's really just a nerdy, dramatic theater kid, but instead has decided to fully pivot and try to become a woman, and in doing so has done everything stereotypical that a woman would do if you were to write her as some bimbo character in a musical. It's not actually what being a woman is like. I know plenty of feminine women that don't act like Dylan at all. In any case, there was another gentleman, Grant, who wanted to join a sorority but got rejected, which I was shocked to even see happen with the wokeness that's on college campuses these days. So he was rejected from a sorority and somehow, I think, caught onto the Dylan grift and is basically replicating him and has come out on multiple occasions and said that he is a fan of Dylan Mulvaney. So this is some sort of trans man pipeline that I cannot get behind because it's disgusting. Not because people are choosing to let their freak flag fly. Queer people have always existed, but what they are doing is creating a caricature of what it is to be a woman, and that's more so what I have a problem with. And if we can call blackface wrong, we need to be able to call woman face wrong. You guys can argue in the comment section down below if you think they're the same. I really do think they're the same. I'm sorry. And in the 90s, it was pretty standard that there were men who cross-dressed that were still men and identified as men. This is only some new age nonsense where we're trying to pretend like we can just switch our chromosomes, even though we never can. So let's go ahead and look at off-brand Dylan's TikToks, because I cannot get more condescending.
Day 12 of being a girl, and we're gonna go buy tampons. Let's go.
Where are they even at?
What the?
I don't know, which one should I get?
At the Tampax Pearl, I think these are like little dots to see how much you flow, is what somebody said online. I don't know, let's do an unboxing. It literally has instructions. Okay, this is a tampon. This thing does not go up inside you. Like, where does that go? Oh my God, what the hell? Okay, so it says you push the plunger up and out comes the baby. I'm kidding. That just hangs out inside you? How does it, how do you get it out? Is that what this thing's for? Oh, it comes open. Oh, do you like, oh, where does the string go? I bought tampons because I've never bought them before. If you need one, love you.
I don't know why this stuff irritates me so much, but mostly because this individual is never gonna know what it's like to be a woman and you are a teenage girl and you actually don't know how tampons work and you have to find out yourself. It's an uncomfortable conversation with your parents, usually a conversation with your mother if you have one. And there's also some things about tampons that don't get talked about. For example, if it's your first time use, that's typically very uncomfortable for young women. Would he have made a TikTok about that? No, because he's not familiar with the hardware, and the whole thing just seems super patronizing. It obviously goes inside of a, and yes, you can call it a plunger. I don't know any woman who's even referred to it as a plunger. I think we just call it the stick. You push the stick, tampon comes out, you move on, whatever. Other things came up on that video. For example, there was a menstrual cup, which actually, since this is a women's channel and I'm a woman and I'm also pregnant, and so there's a lot of things about being a woman that I know about, I will come out and say and let young women know that if you want to avoid toxic shock syndrome and you're not allergic to silicone, a menstrual cup is probably going to be a lot better for you, and they seal better unless you're doing something that's going to require a lot of rapid movement with your pelvic floor, something like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It might not be the best for that, but for the most part, it reduces your risk of toxic shock and it lasts a really, really long time. So I would consider menstrual cups, and they happen to be cheaper in the long run than constantly buying a box every single month. And if you have more questions about menstrual cups, please go ahead and email me because I cannot say it all in this video. Although I just think they are a fabulous invention and I don't know why we're filling landfills with these feminine products. However, Dylan Mulvaney and off-brand Dylan would never know that. Moving on, we can see what a woman responds, because remember, when we talk about how women women are losing in feminism, it's not because they don't deserve it. They totally do, for stupid reasons like this. Let's check it out.
Day 12 of being a girl, and we're gonna go buy tampons. Let's go.
Y'all are in those comments yelling at her like she's one of those wild people who goes and buys actual baby formula for their fake babies at home.
If I want advice from a woman on how I should respond to life or what opinions I should form, I can guarantee you it will never be from a woman with a shaved head and knuckle tattoos. I'm sorry. There's just no way I would ever in a million years take advice from this woman. Also, she's calling him a she, and to be honest, Grant doesn't look much like a woman. There are people that transition and put in the effort. For me, I will call you a she, her if you look like a she, her. If you make me guess, that's your Al. You're not putting forth the effort, okay? But if you look like a man and I call you man, how you gonna be mad? Back into it.
Y'all are being unhinged and delusional. It is absolutely appropriate for every trans woman to buy tampons, whether or not they need to use them, because at some point, somewhere, someday, someone with a vagina will need a tampon. They won't have a coin for the dispenser, which is a ripoff because no one should be paying for tampons. It is a natural course of life that people who have periods go through every...
No, listen, okay, menstrual cups, $35. You need to clean them, yes, email me about how that goes. You can spend $35 and it lasts 10 years. I don't want to hear about your stupid pink tax. You don't need tampons, you don't need pads. You're choosing to buy these things. Women, I cannot get behind this nonsense. I will say, okay, let's say you're just a considerate male. That's just who you are. If you want to put a handful of tampons in your glove box, I guess you can do that. But I would assume that the woman that you're trying to date or be in a relationship with is going to be like, what? Why do you have a handful of tampons in your glove box? Are you seeing someone else? So I don't know how you're socially gonna explain that, but okay, like that seems like it's fine. Or maybe you just hand tampons to a woman that you're in class with and say, hey, can you do me a favor and put this in the women's restroom? But I was an undergrad in not a very expensive public school, and there were tampons and sanitary napkins galore. Other places, yeah, it's not as prevalent, but America is getting to a point where we are having these menstrual supplies widely available for free in public bathrooms, and that's not something that happens in third world nations. I just think we're ungrateful.
Single month of the year. They should be free, and they should be given out freely. But I digress. Leave this poor woman alone. She's just trying to be an ally to the cis people, and that's a nice thing, okay?
Yes, we all needed the take from the almost bald, overweight, possibly obese, knuckle tattooed woman eating Easy Mac from the microwave. We all needed to hear her input and be flipped off by her because we're wrong for thinking that Grant is kind of sus. Okay, whatever. If you like this content, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Do you think that Grant is trying to do something out of earnest? Do you think he's just trying to be helpful to women? Or do you think that this stuff is really patronizing? What do you think about the pink tax, and what do you think about women and this constant argument that we deserve menstrual products for free? I happen to believe that we don't deserve anything, but I also think that if we're going to talk about reducing cost of menstruation, then yeah, you might need to figure out the whole cup situation. You might want to do it. It's reusable and it doesn't end up in a landfill unless you want it to. Alrighty, I will see you guys next time. Bye.